Bianchi, and I have had the privilege for the past 15 years to be the founder and the director of the Baldwin-Wallace University Men's Chorus. This year, 2022 and 2023, we are celebrating our 15th anniversary. And over those 15 years, our journey has been absolutely incredible. And I would like to share with you some of my favorite musical moments and some of my favorite stories over the years. I hope that you enjoy this trip down memory lane as much as I have enjoyed making this journey. And it has been a humbling journey to think about how we came into being and how we got to where we are today. First, a little bit about the group. I had no idea I would end up at Baldwin-Wallace University when I retired from public school teaching in 2007. At that time, I was teaching around 500 students a day in 7 choirs, and one of the highlights of the day for me was my high school men's chorus that met before school at 6:50 in the morning. They met for 25 minutes, and I always had between about 80 and 125 guys just come in before school and work together just for the love of singing. It was an incredible learning experience for all of us. And I said to myself, when I leave this chapter of my life, I'm going to form a men's chorus in the city I love, which is Cleveland, and I'm going to unite young people, not so young people, in the middle age people, and I am going to form a group where students and adults can enjoy making TTBB music together. I've had many great mentors over the years. You'll hear about them during this journey, but that's it. And I had no idea this would happen at Baldwin-Wallace. When I received a call before I left my teaching job to retire, I got a call from Baldwin-Wallace University asking me if I would like to work for a year, replacing someone who had left while they researched for a full-time music education professor. I was a little skeptical because I had not taught college until this experience. And my duties included teaching choral conducting, choral methods, group vocal techniques, supervising student teacher, beginning conducting, and conducting the women's chorus. My question during the interview was, who gets to conduct the men's chorus here? And the answer I got was, we don't have one. And from Brian Bowser, who was then the head of the then Conservatory Outreach Department, which has now become the Community Art School, Brian said, we could talk about forming one if you'd like. And I did. I was passionate about that because I knew I wanted to do this somewhere in Cleveland, and Baldwin-Wallace, with their well over 100-year history of incredible music making and incredible community partnership, seemed to be the perfect place to do this. And it was. I teamed with Brian and with a student of mine who since then has done some incredible things, and we'll talk about him during this journey. His name is Adam Sheldon, and he, Brian, and I brainstormed that first semester in 2007 to talk about what this group would look like and who would be a part of it. And we launched this group in the winter of that first year. What an incredible journey. We started with my students who were in my classes. We started with some alumni from the school I was teaching in Medina. We started with people I was dragging off of Front Street, and around 40 of us got together and began to make beautiful music. Our first concert was at the Cathedral of St. John, and I chose that place because I want to say around 1995, we were one of the first groups to ever do a public concert there. And since then, they have developed an incredible concert series. So not having a big program to put together, and at the time conducting the women's chorus at BW, and I was conducting the Cleveland Orchestra Youth Chorus, I teamed up with all my forces, those three groups, and we sang our first concert at the Cathedral of St. John. I was so incredibly excited to do that program and to see the president of Baldwin-Wallace University at the time, Richard Durst, in the first row of the cathedral with his wife, supporting us and encouraging us and just making our first appearance such a memorable one. I never thought it could happen at Baldwin-Wallace. I never dreamed it would happen at Baldwin-Wallace, and it did. Baldwin-Wallace, we pledge our hearts to thee. 2008 and 2009, our second season, we were off to an incredible start. Our inaugural year really put us on the map in the world of male choruses. Our audiences were already excited to come back and to hear what we had to offer. We had partnered with groups that had a great following. Our first concerts were with the women's chorus and then with the Cleveland Orchestra Youth Chorus. Audiences were excited about what we were becoming and how we were establishing ourselves both at the university and in the city of Cleveland. In our second season, we started to form a team of students who were future music educators, who would work with me as interns and who would learn managerial positions. Most of our jobs as educators really take place outside of those minutes we spend with students, even though that's where our passion is. Our time is often spent administrating, developing, growing, researching, learning, working with collaboratively with community people and with parents and all sorts of things that go beyond the actual teaching hours in a classroom. And so we had started an intern program of students who wanted to teach, who would learn all of the ins and outs, everything that I had learned for 30 years in a classroom of fundraising, of marketing, of a program building, a program designing, of putting together writing programs. And we were off to an incredible start. Our accompanist during that second season was a student I had at Medina who I met when he was in the 5th grade. He was my little Winthrop when we did the Music Man at the high school. He's an incredible musician. He started out at BW as a freshman, majoring in music education, and he served as our accompanist for our second season. He was involved in the music education classes. He was my assistant accompanist at Severance Hall for the Cleveland Orchestra Youth Chorus, and his name is Tom Benezzi. I'm so proud of him and everything he has done with his career and life. And I'm equally proud of a young man that you won't be able to see conducting because we have only the audio recording, but conducting the piece I chose in one of my most memorable moments of this 15-year journey, a piece by Randall Thompson called Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. And that was conducted by Adam Sheldon, who was our first manager of the BW Men's Chorus. Adam has had an incredible journey. I met him when he was a student at BW, when he was my student. And I knew he would set the world on fire with music. And I wasn't sure what shape that would take. But over the years, he had earned his degree in management and in music education. And he came back to BW after Brian Bowser went into the classroom to teach, and he is doing amazing things in the arts management program at Baldwin Wallace. But Adam took on the responsibilities of the outreach department, which he later worked to name the Community Arts School, one of the finest learning establishments in the state, a place where children, young adults can continue to grow in the arts. And he led that community arts school, and he continued to support the Baldwin Wallace Men's Chorus because he was in it from the first day we talked about it, before it even existed. He's directing this number. Adam now serves as an assistant provost at the Baldwin Wallace University, and he is the executive director of the Division of Community Learning. Again, because he's a teacher. That's why we did everything we did with the Baldwin Wallace Men's Chorus, because we are teachers. – 2009 and 2010, what an incredible season that was. As I mentioned earlier, we in the Baldwin Wallace University Men's Chorus really have our roots in education. One of our primary goals is to bring students who want to teach into our group. We talked about that earlier. Bring teachers who are currently teaching and who have taught, and just have an environment of learning, not only between them, but between all of our members. Learning and music education are a big part of who we are. So beginning in our second season, I started a program where we would bring in an iconic, very successful conductor in the tenor bass world, tenor bass choral singing world, to work with the guys for a Saturday in the fall and really just share their expertise and their knowledge that they bring to the world of tenor bass singing. This third season, we brought in a dear friend of mine who at the time was the conductor of the Men's Glee Club at Miami University and currently at Portland State University, an incredible conductor and arranger, Dr. Ethan Sperry. We had developed a fabulous and long-standing relationship with Miami University and have many alumni from that university and their programs singing with us and who have sung with us over the years. Ethan, in our third season in 2010, hosted the IMC conference. The IMC at the time was called the Intercollegiate Men's Choruses. Now they currently are called IMC, the Tenor Bass Choral Consortium. This organization is made up of some of the finest college and university, professional, high school, semi-professional, community glee clubs in the United States. And every 2 years they hold a national conference where these glee clubs, many of them come and perform. We often have anywhere between 13 and 18 concerts in our 3-day conference. We have reading sessions and interest sessions and all sorts of things, roundtable discussions, all dealing with our passion of tenor-based singing. So they asked the Baldwin Wallace University, the 3-year-old baby of the organization, to come and sing at this conference. I can't tell you how nervous I was to be on a block of concerts with 2 iconic choral organizations, the Ohio University Men's Glee Club and the Ohio State University Men's Glee Club. And here we were, the Baldwin Wallace Men's Chorus. This was sort of our inauguration into collegiate glee club world singing. At this conference that we sang at Miami University, there were so many people in attendance that all of the groups had to perform 2 concerts, both across campus, one in a chapel, and then we walked across campus and performed in Hall Auditorium. This excerpt that you're hearing is from that conference, our first initiation into collegiate glee club singing world, our introduction to the glee clubs in the United States. And we sang a program that included 6 pieces. Only 2 of them were sung in English. This particular piece was sung in Slavonic Russian. It's from the Russian Orthodox liturgy service. It's called Angel bw.edu. And I was so proud to be a part of that organization, and I still am proud. I'm proud to serve on the board for that group. And at this conference, we were introduced by our executive director, who is also a dear friend of ours, and who was one of our clinicians over the years, Dr. Clayton Parr. Dr. Parr was past conductor of the Miami University Glee Club, and he proudly introduced us as we took the stage at the IMC conference in 2010. The Baldwin Wallace University Men's Chorus, year number 3.
Organization to be performing at IMC this weekend. The Baldwin Wallace Men's Chorus was formed in the fall of 2008. It's less than 2 years ago, and there are 70 of them up here. When I had the privilege of teaching and working in Ohio, I often had colleagues from other parts of the country ask me whether there was something in the water here that just lent itself, that just grew male choruses. And of course, there's nothing special in the water, but what there is really outstanding musical leadership. Both from my colleagues that you see here on the stage, but also their predecessors who worked so hard to establish these traditions and maintain them with care in the state of Ohio. Frank Bianchi is certainly one of those people. Has been a major figure in choral music in the state of Ohio for many years. Had a very successful public school teaching career, a very fine male chorus at Medina, Ohio, which was invited to perform all over the place at national conventions. So it's my pleasure to welcome my colleague Frank Bianchi and the Baldwin Wallace Men's Chorus.
See
Our fourth season, 2010 and 2011, we had already established strong connections with students and have developed a wonderful intern program where students were working with me and on various projects and on various aspects of building and maintaining a program and retaining members. And we decided that it would be time that we involve our community members and have an advisory board. They started out as the Leadership Council, and they were formed by one of our businessmen at the time in the group. His name is Ross Iyer. And he got a group of guys together who were interested in doing some of the legwork and supportive work of the chorus that was out of the students' realm and time to do. So we had already established a community council of people that would work with me and gather, every 2 months or so to talk about the needs of the chorus and how they could help. And one of our charter members had worked with us, and we decided it was time to establish what our real mission was. And so together with this community council, George Patis, who had been a member of the chorus since the very beginning and who had strong connections in the business world, helped us to craft this mission statement. And we have lived by this statement ever since our humble beginning in 2007. The mission of the BW Men's Chorus is to educate, entertain, uplift, and foster human connection through a commitment to high standards of choral excellence. We believe that music is a universal language transcending human differences. The chorus is a shared experience of the unique talents and the individual experiences of its members, creating an artistic connection that includes the integrity of the music, the director, the audience, and one another. And every time I craft a program, since that day, I have read that mission statement and asked myself, are we living up to the mission of this chorus? And I believe we, that is me and the guys in the chorus, have done just that. The excerpt I chose from my favorite playlist was an excerpt that featured one of our interns who was also a student manager. Our first female student manager, Kaylee Bonzio. Kaylee had sung with me since the end of her 8th grade year in the Cleveland Orchestra Youth Chorus, and she also sang in my church choir. She went to Baldwin-Wallace University. She's currently teaching at Elyria High School, and she is a brilliant musician. And I chose this piece because it features both her as a future educator at the time and a member of our chorus who had been a long-standing member and a very dear friend of mine, Jared Plaster. He has a long history of incredible performing in the Cleveland area, and he teaches in the Parma City schools. And this excerpt is of Kaylee conducting the chorus and Jared as our soloist singing "O Holy Night" at our Christmas concert in the fall of, or should I say early winter of 2010, that we had also shared with the Cleveland Orchestra Youth Chorus. This is "O Holy Night."
It is the night of our years.
2011, 2012, our fifth season, our fifth anniversary. It was hard to believe that so much time had passed in our journey, and it had gone quickly. We had over the years established contacts with many of the university ensembles. We had collaborated on several concerts. One in particular that I remember this season was a concert we shared with my dear friend who was conducting the wind ensemble at the university. His name is Vince Danner. Just an incredible human being, a colleague in the music education department, and just somebody who we had the utmost respect for and who also sang with us. Actually, he and Dr. Marshall, who had been a member of the music education faculty, sang with us in our first season. And then that was followed with Dr. Sylvie, who was a member of our music education faculty, who also sang with us, and who you will hear his arrangement in this video of our national anthem. When he had joined us, he said, I'd like to arrange a national anthem for you. I wasn't too happy with anything that was out there personally. And Philip is an incredible arranger and an incredible musician. He's currently teaching at Eastman School of Music. But you'll hear that later on this video. I'd like to give a shout out to this fifth anniversary season to the guys who really had stuck with us for 5 years. And they are our charter members. Jason Falkowski was one of them, and he's a BW grad and a very dear friend of mine and of the chorus. He had arranged and conducted many things over the past 15 years. And also John Mercer, who is a phenomenal human being, an incredible teacher in the Olmsted Falls School District. They had been with us from the beginning and actually still are with us today. And I believe George Patis is in there too with that first charter member joining us, and again has been with us on this journey all throughout our history. This season was to be the last season we actually shared our holiday concerts with another ensemble. We were trying to build our audiences, and our audiences were getting so large that we had to go to 2 concerts because we were sharing them for the first couple of years with the Cleveland Orchestra Youth Chorus. And this was to be the last year we were going to do that, and the next year, our 6th season, we would have attempted an entire concert by ourselves, which was a pretty big undertaking for a group that rehearses only once a week. But the 2 things I'd really like to share with you from this season in my most memorable moments musically of the 15 years was the collaboration we had begun with the Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians Association. We had sent an audition recording to sing the national anthem at one of the baseball games. And we got together during this season on a beautiful day to sing for the first time in that stadium as the BW Men's Chorus. It was sort of an introduction to Northeast Ohio in a different venue and with a different audience. And this arrangement that you'll hear us singing here is the arrangement that Dr. Sylvie arranged for us. He was a member of our group, a member of our music ed faculty. And I followed that with another favorite moment from this year, favorite for many reasons. One is I just absolutely loved our soloist, who was a vocal performance major at BW and a 4-year member of our group, incredibly dedicated. And for us who know of VP schedules, they're intense with operas and all sorts of other commitments. And Joe had been with us throughout his career at BW, and he is an incredible singer, and you'll hear him on this arrangement of Loch Lomond. And I share this with you because this particular arrangement, which is on our YouTube channel, had or has over 400,000 views. And I have gotten over the years messages from all over the world of people asking about it, asking about our group, people who had heard it that might have done a search for this title. And if you go to our YouTube channel, and I hope you have gone there, and I hope you've subscribed to our videos, It's free, and you'll hear a lot of great moments with our group. You'll hear Joe and the chorus today singing Loch Lomond, and it's just a beautiful performance of this incredible piece. And we did it at our spring concert, and this concluded our 5th anniversary and our 5th season together. Thanks for staying with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remove your caps and welcome the Baldwin Wallace Men's Chorus as we honor America and the men and women serving our country in the armed forces and safety services with this performance of our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And thank you to the Baldwin Wallace Men's Chorus for tonight's rendition of our national anthem.